You're sitting across from someone you love. They're smiling at you, eyes warm. Familiar. They open their mouth to call you. Nothing comes out. Not silence. Confusion. Their face changes. The warmth drains. Because they can't find the word. The word that means you, your name. It's gone. Not just from them. From everyone. From you. This isn't a world where names were never invented. This is worse. This is a world where they vanished. Yesterday, you had one. Today, there's just a hole where it used to be. And there's one specific moment when you realize what you've lost. One terrible moment that breaks you completely. But before I tell you when that happens, you need to understand what a world without names actually does to the human mind. Because it's not what you think. You'd assume society would collapse immediately. It doesn't. Humans are adaptive. Terrifyingly adaptive. Within hours, we'd compensate. We'd point. We'd use descriptions. You with the blue shirt. The tall one. The person by the window. Society keeps functioning. But you start breaking. Because here's what most people don't understand about names. They're not labels. They're not identifiers. They're not just sounds. They are the anchor of your entire sense of self. Think of your identity as a ship. Your memories are the hull. Your relationships are the sails. Your personality is the cargo. Your name is the anchor. The thing that keeps you here. Real. Consistent. Remove the anchor, and the ship drifts. Now, you might survive day 1, even day 2. Your brain has other markers. Your face in the mirror. Your voice. Your handwriting. These things still say you. But here's what happens on day 3. You're in a crowd. Someone calls out. Not to you because they can't. They have no word for you. Therefore, you don't turn around. But neither does anyone else. Because nobody knows if they're being called. The social fabric starts tearing. Not loudly, quietly. You reach for someone's hand. They pull back, not because they don't know you, but because they can't confirm it's you. Your voice sounds right. Your face looks familiar, but without the name. There's doubt. A whisper of, is this the right person? And that doubt is contagious. They doubt you. Therefore you doubt yourself. In 2019, researchers at Duke University ran an experiment. They asked volunteers to spend 72 hours without using anyone's name. Not their own. Not others. Complete nominal silence. By hour 48, something happened they didn't predict. The volunteers started losing autobiographical memory. Not old memories. New ones. They couldn't form stable memories of experiences. Because memory encoding requires a subject, a who for the what happened. Without a name, there's no stable subject. Without a subject, there's no coherent narrative. Without a narrative, there's no you. Try this. Right now. Think about your morning. Now describe it to yourself. But don't use your name. Don't use I. Don't use any self-reference. You can't, can you? The story falls apart. Because stories need characters. And you just stopped being one. By day 3, you'd feel it physically. A hollowness. Not in your stomach. Behind your eyes. Like color draining from the world. Food tastes muted. Sounds feel distant. Touch feels like it's happening to someone else. Because it is. You're becoming third person. An observer in your own life. Watching the body move. The person speak. But it's not you anymore. Because you was a word. And that word is gone. I need to tell you about someone. Her name was Elena. Elena Rostova, 67 years old, former linguistics professor from Moscow. In 2015, she was diagnosed with semantic dementia. Not Alzheimer's, different. Alzheimer's takes memories. Semantic dementia takes meanings. It started with common words. Telephone, window, rain. She'd look at objects and nothing. No word. But she adapted. She'd describe instead the thing that rings, the glass in the wall. Her family helped. They'd fill in the blanks. Then, month 6, she forgot her daughter's name. Then her husband's. Then, her daughter, Elena, kept a journal. This is what she wrote. Mom looked at me today with such love. I could see she knew me, knew every memory we share, knew she loved me. But when she opened her mouth, she wept because she couldn't call me. She had no word to bridge the space between us. 3 weeks later, Elena looked in a mirror. She recognized her face, but she couldn't remember the word, for who it belonged to. Her own name. Elena. Gone. This is that moment. The moment I told you about. When you realize what you've lost. It's not when other people can't name you. It's when you can't name yourself. When you look in the mirror and see a stranger. But here's what happened next. Elena's husband, Dmitri, started doing something every morning. He'd hold her hand, look in her eyes, and say, "You are Elena. You are my wife. You are Irina's mother. You are here. You are real. You are loved." And for those moments, the 30 seconds after he spoke, she'd stabilize. Her eyes would focus. Her breathing would slow. The anxiety would drain from her face, because someone else was holding the anchor for her. Here's what neuroscience reveals. Your brain activates a specific network in your brain, the medial prefrontal cortex, the posterior cingulate, the temporoparietal junction. Together, they're called the default mode network. This network only activates for one thing: self-referential thought. When someone says your name, your brain lights up like a city. Every neuron that stores my fires simultaneously. Your name is the activation code, the password, the key to remove the key, and you can't access yourself. That Duke University study, they did brain scans on day 3. The default mode network had reduced activity by 30%. 72 hours without names. And volunteers were literally losing neural access to their sense of self. They stopped using first-person pronouns, stopped making future plans, stopped expressing preferences, because preferences require a who to prefer. And the who had started to dissolve. One volunteer, when offered a choice between pizza and pasta, started crying. When asked why, they said, "I don't know what I want, because I don't know who I is anymore." The lead researcher, Dr. Sarah Chen, said, "We discovered that selfhood is not inherent. It's not biological. It's a linguistic construct, maintained by constant repetition. We are, quite literally, talked into existence." But here's what this reveals about being human, and I'll be honest, this is the part that kept me awake. You think you're solid, permanent, self-evident. You're not. You're a story other people tell. Your mother named you. Teachers called you. Friends shouted you across parking lots. Lovers whispered you in the dark. Every time they said your name, they were casting a spell that said, "You exist." You are separate. You are real. Without that spell, you're not a person. You're a process. A flow of sensations. A temporary arrangement of atoms that hasn't realized it's temporary. Your name is an invention. An agreement. A collective act of imagination. We all agreed to pretend that you are distinct, separate, individual. We gave you a word to contain that pretense. And the pretense became real. That's the magic of language. It doesn't describe reality. It creates it. Remember that person you love? The one who couldn't call you? In a world without names, they'd have to find new ways. They'd describe your laugh. The way you tilt your head. The specific warmth they feel when you enter a room. And maybe that's more real. Maybe names are shortcuts. Conveniences. Maybe the truest version of you is the one that can't be reduced to a word. But until we evolve past language, your name is everything. So what happens if humans have no names? We don't just lose identity. We lose the ability to be witnesses to each other's existence. We lose the ability to say, I see you. Specifically you. Not anyone else. You. We lose love. Not the feeling, but the expression. Because how do you tell someone you love them when you can't name who you're loving? In that world, every interaction becomes a desperate game of charades. Pointing, describing, hoping the other person understands. Relationships would erode. Not from lack of care, but from lack of precision. I need to talk to the person I live with. The one with. I think they were wearing blue yesterday. Or was that someone else? Intimacy requires specificity. And specificity requires language. Without names, everyone becomes someone. Anyone. That person over there. You'd be surrounded by 7 billion strangers who might know you, but can't prove it. The next time someone says your name, pay attention. Feel what happens in your chest. That small warmth, that recognition, that's not just acknowledgement. That's someone proving you're real. That's someone reaching across the void and saying, you are not just consciousness experiencing itself. You are a specific consciousness. And I know which one. Don't take it for granted. Because you are not your body. That will fail, decay, betray you. You are not your thoughts. Those change, contradict, lie. You are a word people say with meaning. You are the sound your mother makes when she's worried. You are the name your friend shouts when they have news. You are the whisper your lover breathes when they think you're asleep. That's what you are. A word, a spell, a collective agreement that you matter enough to have a sound all your own. Protect that word. Speak it to yourself sometimes. In the mirror, in the car, in moments of doubt. Say your own name. Remind yourself, I am here. I am real. I am specific. And when you say someone else's name, know that you're doing something sacred. You're not just getting their attention. You're telling them, I see you. I remember you. You matter.